What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to finish off removing the last of the 15 to 17 body panels that we need to finish up the conversion for the 18 to 20 Mustang RTR. Okay, so we're going to try and get the rear bumper off right now. Got to remove a couple of these pins. Hopefully I don't have to take off the tire. Mostly just because I'm lazy. Got that back. It looks like there's a little 7, if I can move my fat thumb out the way. Looks like there's a little 7mm nut right there. Gotta get out. And hopefully that'll just to pull this back. There were 3 little push pins here, 1 there, and then 2 here in the recess. Behind that you get 2 bolts right there to hold the side in. Up top you have 1 there, and then at the bottom, which I can't even point the camera good enough to see, you're gonna have these little push pin areas right here that secure the back corner of your bumper. We're gonna get the other side off, and then after that it should just be what sits along the trunk line, but we're gonna have to wait until Nathan gets home because he's tiny and he can get up into the trunk and release it, since we have no power right now allowing us to release that. Okay, so to get the bumper off, what we need to do is start removing this inner liner right here. That way we can get to the bolts that are behind all of this trim here and behind the lights. So let's get started with that. So the inner liner, if it'll focus, get some light in here, it's held on with these things. They're not bolts. Well, they're kind of like nuts on the inside here, but they're kind of decorative on the outside. I don't know why this won't focus, maybe due to poor lighting over here, but that's what you got to take off to get the inner lining off. Move that back, and then you expose back here for your bolts. Why am I missing a nut on here? Man, when people fix my car, they don't put this stuff back together right. I swear to God. Okay, so I'm going to take those out so I can get to what I'm assuming is the bolts that hold the bumper in place here behind the tail lights. I haven't removed a bumper on here before. I do have one. Did I? Yeah, I have. Never mind. Scratch that. I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. Okay, if you ever go to take out your tail lights, you have 2 nuts right here, and then a 3rd one back up in here to hold it in place. What you're going to do then is, ooh, that snapped back pretty good. Because it's magnetized, yo. Okay, so what you're going to do then is you're going to reach down in here, disconnect the back of your tail lights right here in my hand, and then on the front side you're just going to yank this out. Be very careful. And then you got a little grommet up in here. I know the lighting's horrible, I apologize. And then you got a little grommet that goes around the wiring, and you just pull the wiring out. And be very careful with these, because these things are not cheap to replace. And then to disconnect the bumper, I lied to y'all, it's actually just a series of clips all along here. So you start pulling up on the bumper and it will release it. There is the wire loom that you got to disconnect right here, or the wiring harness that goes to all your sensors if you have them in your bumper, or your reverse light and your license plate light that need to come undone. So as you can see, we got the rear bumper off. Everything is good to go. So what we have to do now is just get a 18 to 20 rear bumper along with the rear tail lights, and this will be good to go. I already have the new deck lid on here. Well, it's not a new deck lid, but it's a replacement for the one that was on here. We're going to be taking this off, and we'll be taking this off. Crap, let's go ahead and do that right now, and then get that out of the way. And then that way we can get this stuff sold and replaced with the RTR stuff. I'm going to be getting a PP spoiler, PP1 Performance Pack spoiler that goes on here, mounted with the gurney flap, which I already have. But let's go ahead and just get this stuff off right now. So you may remember how we did this when we put the new deck lid panel on Gabby's car, but what you need to do is remove these little caps right here in the corners, because that's where the bolts are that hold everything in place. You got a little, either a 7 or a 6.5 that sits up in there that you need to remove. So we're in here taking these bolts out right now. It is a 7mm. There's 4 of them. If I can keep this steady. 2 on each side. There's kind of a hook on the back of the deck lid that holds it in place up top, along with kind of just some snaps that hold it in place. And it's a pull down. I repeat, a pull down. Or up. It really just depends on where you got the deck lid. Alright, so there we go. We got the rear deck lid panel off. You can see there's these snaps here along the edge. The camera's on here. We need to get the camera off as well so we can put that over onto the new RTR deck lid panel. I ended up using this 7/32 socket, but I really feel like it's more of a 5.5mm, but it worked because it wasn't on there crazy tight. So we're going to set that off to the side and wait for the new deck lid panel. But this is good, so I can put this over into my gotta sell it pile. And then now we can get started on the spoiler. It's not a bad looking spoiler. I don't know who makes this. It looks like maybe it's a MMD. Comment down below if you know who makes this spoiler, but let's get yanking this off. We're gonna have to remove these little grommets here on both ends. And then up inside you have 2 more. I don't know where they got these. It doesn't look like original hardware. It might be though. If I had to guesstimate, I'd say that's probably a 12 or a 13. So like I said, it's a 10mm. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in here. Loosen all these up. And I'll come through just the extension and hand turn them off the rest of the way. Okay, so I got all the bolts out. It didn't move, so I'm assuming there's double-sided tape on here. But we'll give her a firm tug and see. Oh yeah, she ain't moving. We'll try from a different side. Oh, there we go. Feels like they might have put a little extra stank on here because this thing feels like it wants to break. I was able to finally get it off with a little bit of 2-arm muscle, but this stuff is solid. This doesn't look like 3M double-sided tape, but it's some kind of double-sided tape. It doesn't really leave a residue behind from what I can see, but it's just getting off the pieces initially that suck. But there we have it. Rear deck lid panel is off, spoiler is off, bumper is off. This body is pretty much prepped for all the new parts. I just need to start moving all the old ones. So excuse the hair, I was kind of mid-haircut when I decided to come out here and start working on this, so I didn't mean to go full on Pauly D. But we got the deck lid panel off of the car, we have the spoiler off of the car, and we have the rear bumper off the car. So all the body panels at this point that need to be removed have been removed. You'll notice that I did not take off the side rocker panels at all because it is very similar between the 18 to 20 as it is to the 15 to 17. So there is no need to change the rocker panels on the RTR for that. But everything else is good to go. Next step is we get to work on pulling the engine out of the RTR. We got the engine hoist here. I've been noticing that I got 145 subscribers now, so thank you guys very much, but we're not getting 145 views on every video. So make sure that you guys, if you've liked and subscribed, make sure that you're also hitting the notification bell because I want to make sure that you guys get these updates and you're here for the start to finish of this car. But until next time, see you guys later. Peace.